What's up, Only Playbook fans? We're back for another episode 42. We are going to be previewing the conference championship round. 2 more freaking games, and then it's Pro Bowl, which is so anticlimactic. Yay. And then it's the Super Bowl, baby. We're the Only Playbook. I'm Sweetcar. I got Shishot, Shovit. What's going on, guys?
Hey, doing great, doing amazing. You know, I just want everything to slow down. You know, I don't want the Pro Bowl to come up, but I'm excited for these matchups.
Remember how excited we used to get for the Pro Bowl?
Yeah,
those are the days.
Yeah,
when we were rooting on our players and stuff. And then ever since Mitch Trubisky made the Pro Bowl, I was like, you know what, the Pro Bowl is the dumbest shit in the whole world. So, it's. I don't even get. I feel like All Pro matters way more now in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, you're right. We used to be super excited about it. But they used to make it fun, like all of the pre-Pro Bowl games with like the throwing and all that stuff. Like I used to love watching that shit. But now it's just like not. It's not any of that. Or if it is, they don't televise it or advertise it enough for us to even know when it's happening or like when it's going on.
Yeah.
It's just like lost its.
And it's not. And it's before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like that's just dumb.
Yeah.
Like we're waiting for the ultimate thing we've been waiting all year for, and they're like, hey, check this out. Like we don't need that.
And the best players don't even play because they're playing in the Super Bowl, right? So you already have like 2 teams full of players that are probably like, much of the Pro Bowl roster they're not getting to play. So.
Not enough people are probably watching it after the Super Bowl. We're like, okay, football's over. We're done, and so they had to put it in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole Thanksgiving bullshit.
Yeah, but we did have a really busy week as far as things happening for the podcast.
We did.
That's right.
What did we have?
We had this guy name of AD, Adrian Peterson, aka All Day, aka AP, aka Purple Jesus. He acknowledged us. He followed us, liked us, commented us. He blessed us.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I mean, I feel like the emotions right now aren't running as high, so it's not giving due with how we were feeling at the time. But yeah, when we had Brady Breeze come on, obviously if you've been listening, you know that episode's dropped. Go check it out. Brady Breeze came on and he gave us a story about how he was in practice with the Tennessee Titans and how it was the week that they had signed Adrian Peterson because of the Derrick Henry injury. Peterson hadn't been getting hit, so he needed to feel contact. So Vrabel's like picking one guy in the entire team to be like, you know what, you're going to go against Adrian Peterson, and it happened to be Brady. So great story. Check that out. Yeah. Because of that, we had tagged Adrian Peterson on the social media platform. And yeah, like you said, I got the text from you first saying, holy shit, he liked it.
Well, that's the thing. So I was out and I'm looking at homes right now, and I just saw a great home that I loved, and I'm already like feeling good. I get in my car and I see Adrian Peterson liked your video, and I'm like, this has got to be like a fake account. Yeah. And sure enough, you click it and you see the check marks. Yeah. And I had to just text you guys right away to let you know like that this just happened. It was so exciting, so thrilling.
I mean, it's like not only did he just like it, he liked it, he followed our page, so that's going to come up on his feed moving forward, and he took time to comment on it. So I mean, that just meant the absolute world to us, because if you know anything about us, me and Shishot are like the 2 biggest Vikings fans possible, and much of our childhood was Adrian Peterson. So
it was on the 12-year anniversary when you guys watched Adrian Peterson in the NFC Championship.
Yep.
Cool 25 carries, 122 yards, and 3 touchdowns in that NFC Championship game where had Brett Favre not thrown that interception or had a bounty gate on his hands, which they're making a movie about because apparently that's cool and we can promote that. If not for that, we'd be in the Super Bowl. But yeah, it was wild. 12 years on that day. We were in our jerseys. The video was there. It was on my memory on Facebook. So just like the whole universe coming together. And like
manifest.
And you know how they say like you need to look for the signs. They don't just like show up. You got to look for them. And then I looked so deep. I was like, I'm a Lakers fan. Anthony Davis made his return. His initials are AD. So it's just like, bro, what is going on? Well, how many signs are there, and how many signs am I supposed to find?
Yep. Yeah, so many signs all over. Mel Gibson would be proud. So like we're super excited about everything that's happened recently, guys. I mean, hopefully you guys can hear it in our voice. It's just like so giddy. All of the social media has been insane since then. Instagram, all of that, Twitter, YouTube, everything. Go check us out. We're the Only Playbook everywhere except Twitter, where we're just Only Playbook. And then we're on all the podcast platforms. So if you just are driving along and you want to listen to something football related, I promise you will not be disappointed. Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Apple, and Google, right? So kind of the whole 9 yards. Appreciate all the support so far. Can't wait to continue doing this. Let's get into what's actually important, and let's jump into the previews for this weekend. Joe Cool, as Shovit called him last episode, and the Cincinnati Bengals are traveling to Arrowhead in Kansas City this weekend for a huge AFC Championship matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs at home getting a ton of love, favored by 7 points, over under 54.5. Everybody in the world wants this to be a shootout, and Vegas also kind of thinks it's going to be. So 43 degrees game time. I checked that, 5-mile-per-hour wind, so Kansas City giving us some pretty decent weather for a football game. There's a lot to like, and there's a lot to unfold here. What do you guys? I'll let you guys kind of kick it off.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the last game, the matchup between the Bengals and the Chiefs. The Bengals came out on top, 34-31, with the McPherson field goal, which, by the way, his jersey sold out after getting that field goal last week, as it should. Yeah. But Mahomes was held to less than 50 yards in the first half in that game. Kelsey and Hill only had 65 yards, and the reason I say this is, that's got to be the same sort of mindset on the defense. That is exactly how they need to play in order to stop this red-hot Kansas City Chiefs. And how hot have they been in the last 7 games? They're averaging 37.3 points per game.
The Chiefs that we're used to.
The Chiefs that we are used to. Bengals will need to keep up against the Chiefs. One thing to note is that in the playoffs, they are averaging 22.5 points per game.
That ain't going to cut it.
That ain't going to cut it.
That ain't going to cut it. You know why it's not going to cut it?
Why is that?
Because the Chiefs have scored 42 points in both playoff games this season. They joined the 1990 Bills as the only team to score 40 or more points in back-to-back playoff games ever. Wow. So, they're on fire.
Yeah.
We mentioned how Tyreek Hill's not even, their priority anymore. He's just a fun little special experiment. And when that clicks, it's there's no way they lose that game. And that, on top of the fact that the Chiefs have averaged 33.2 points per game in the postseason with Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback, that's the highest by any starting quarterback in NFL history. So, the wide receiver's on fire, the tight end's officially the best receiver in post-game history, or playoff history, and you have the best quarterback in playoff history in five or more starts. So it's they have this offensive unit, and at this point, does their defense even matter? Do we need to even care about this defense?
No, I think that's exactly what I was going to allude to. So that was a perfect segue. The Chiefs' offense has reached back to the Chiefs' offense heights. I know that there was a time where defenses had figured them out and they were getting more of the underneath stuff. But now what's happening is Jerick McKinnon's being used more, right? And Byron Pringle, Mecole Hardman. It's not like they're getting a ton of volume, but the defensive reads that now Mahomes sees, where he knows the Hills and the Kelseys are more likely going to be covered, his reads have changed to initially looking at the Hardmans and Pringles, and that's why you're seeing Pringle get a couple of touchdowns randomly here and Hardman get a touchdown here, and Jerick McKinnon's been fantastic, super impactful for them. So that's exactly what I'm saying is I don't think the Bengals defense can stop the Chiefs. The Chiefs defense clearly is capable of stopping teams. Last week, obviously not a good sample, but just a couple of stops against the Bengals. I don't see the Chiefs really having to punt, to be honest with you.
You're absolutely right. The thing is, the Titans game was close because of those 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the Titans were doing pretty good. Yeah. They got the ball first. They got the ball first and second half. Both those are turnovers. When you start the game, both halves, without getting the ball technically, you're just basically giving the other team the ball. You're prone to lose, right? Yep. Patrick Mahomes won't do that unless it bounces off Tyreek Hill's hands or his face or his ass, something like that. But this is playoff football. Chiefs are here to play, even if their defense is 70%. Doing something. Yeah. This offense is at 110% right now. No, and then Joe Burrow, and just as much as I love him, I mentioned week 7, my favorite player in the NFL outside of any Vikings player is Joe Burrow. It's just that I love everything about him, right? And he has the arm. He's had some games with 500 yards. He's had some game with 400 yards. But this is the ultimate test of his life. It doesn't get any better than this. The Bengals are actually 2-0. They're one of 2 teams that have played it and never lost a conference championship game in the Super Bowl era. They're 2-0 in that span. So I don't know if that means anything, but it's something to be proud of.
When they're there, they come to play, unlike the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, no, they've got the experience. That's unlike the Minnesota Vikings. Oh man, that's
there's always a jab. Vikings. There's always a jab.
Always. No, but the Chiefs have experience not only with Patrick Mahomes, but they have experience with Andy Reid. Yeah. Andy Reid has been into the championships often, 4 times back to back with the Eagles, and now with the Chiefs. So that's going to be a thing that in the playoffs, experience, limiting turnovers, that's important, and the Chiefs have that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, you're again a seasoned, almost arguably a dynasty now against an up and coming team, new coach, new quarterback, young studs, everything, right? Yeah. So it's the future versus the I mean, it's hard to consider these guys still not the future because Mahomes is still young.
A dynasty versus
like an up and coming. So it's like a really, really big matchup, and who better to have than a quarterback who who's not going to shy away from that, right? Like a Joe Burrow, because that dude's going to come in with knowing the implications of every aspect, not just winning the football game, knowing who the quarterback is on the other end, knowing the Chiefs, obviously their entire aura with the dynasty that they've built, and knowing that Joe Burrow is wanting that exact same thing in Cincinnati. So, dude, I'm just super excited. I think we talked about it just earlier. The way this game is going to go, the Bengals are going to have to be throwing the football a lot. I don't see the Bengals being able to stop the Chiefs enough to where it's going to be like a 25 carry game for Joe Mixon, right? And they've kind of trusted Joe Burrow now to be that guy. So it's like if he needs to throw 50 times, they have no problems letting him throw the ball 50 times. That's why this week my best bet is going to be Joe Burrow passing yards over 290.5. I just think there's really very, very few scenarios in which that doesn't happen. One, they just get blown away, like they just 41-0, one of those shits like where it just doesn't work out. And then the other one is it's like a 13-10 game somehow, bunch of defense, field goals, etc. But I don't see that happening. The Bengals defense is not built to play a defensive battle against the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's why Joe Burrow is going to have to throw the football. They're going to have to look deep. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Taj Boyd, or Tyler, but the whole crew, Uzama, whatever. But because of that, 290.5 seems like a very generous line. I take the over. Yeah,
so, I'm trying to think of ways that wouldn't work out, right? It's very hard. Here's a proposal. So if the Chiefs somehow don't do their Chiefs stuff, let's say they want to be a run-first team, right? That could limit a lot of things. Sure. If the score is like 21-17, Burrow doesn't have to throw as hard. That is the only outcome. However, this stat tells me there's no way the Chiefs are going to do that. So the Chiefs are 12-1 when they average fewer than 5 yards per carry this season. That's the best winning percentage in the NFL. They're 2-4 when they average 5 or more yards per carry. So, just forget you have a running game.
They're defying the odds of this. You have to have an established running game. Blah, blah,
no.
Blah. They're better when they run less.
No.
They run shittier. They're better.
Right. Yeah. Right, because then when they run shitty, they give up on the run, and then you have the best arm in football, probably ever, letting it happen. Yeah. Right? So that's why there's just no way Joe Burrow's not going to get that number. It's very hard.
The Chiefs are going to have to stop Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and the guys.
Boyd. Don't forget about the guy that was there.
Yeah.
Boyd freaking caught 100 passes.
Yeah, and like 3 years in a row or 2 years in a row.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So even if they don't score touchdowns, they'll still have to throw the ball to get to the red zone. So
this isn't about scoring. This is just about generating yards, right? So he could end every drive with an interception. I don't care, but as long as he's moving the ball.
Yeah, and we've seen what the Bengals have established, and that's just throw it the ball no matter what.
Yeah. At the end of the day, trust Joe Burrow is the Bengals right now. And so I'm taking Joe Burrow.
It was a great method. Like if you wanted to win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl, you knew you'd have to come across Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
You can't beat the Patrick Mahomeses and like all these other big names by not throwing the ball.
Yep.
So I think they established early when they got to the playoffs, they're like, oh shit, real deal.
Yep.
Let's start getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So and then that has just instilled all kinds of confidence in this whole team. And now we're going to see what happens tomorrow.
Predictions.
Yeah, I'm going to say Chiefs. It's going to be a tough, uphill battle for the Bengals. So Chiefs come out on top.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. It's about who I want to win versus who I think is going to win.
Right.
I want the Bengals to win because I like the underdog. I always like the underdog, and I want the Bengals to win. But how can you like everything we just said? How can you refute that?
The Chiefs would have to beat themselves, essentially, right? Is the way we're seeing them lose this game.
And they have showed no signs of that happening recently.
Yeah. So. I mean, I hope we get some sort of the Rams-Chiefs game from like 2 years ago this time with the Bengals because Joe Burrow obviously is capable of putting up those numbers. 7 points. Do you think that's do you think that's a pretty big spread or do you think that's pretty coverable for the Chiefs?
Based on the history of the Chiefs being able to cover the spread, I think that you would be okay with putting the money on Cincinnati +7.
In order to cover that spread, they need to throw a lot, and this is the best throwing team I may have ever seen in my life. Yeah. So it's like... And a young team with defense, offensive firepower, maybe the greatest of all time. Yeah. It's 7 points, worth a shot.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Over under 54.5. If I'm taking a bet from like a overall game perspective, I'm gonna take the over. Yeah. Just points.
What was it? What was the total?
54.5.
Okay.
Yeah, like 28-28. That's already 56 right there. 31-28 final.
Last game was 31-34.
Yeah, 65 right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Quick and easy. That's quick math. Yeah, that's going to be a great matchup. The winner of that in 2 weeks, we will be at SoFi in the Super Bowl. So, big game there for Cincinnati. Obviously, the Chiefs have been there. So they've been there, done that. Cincinnati first-timers, or first time in a really long time. Something to watch for. Let's jump to the next game. Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers are going to be traveling to LA to take on the Rams. This is the third time these guys have faced off. This is going to be the NFC Championship game. Rams at home. We're playing in a dome. Outside doesn't really matter, but it is going to be beautiful. 69 degrees there in LA for the game. Rams favored by 3.5 points at home, over under 46. Obviously, Rams come into this game as the favorite based on the line. They've looked really, really good. Matthew Stafford finally had, kind of a big defining moment in his career, winning a big playoff game last week. Comeback victory against Tom Brady, etc. So, big things happening for LA, but for some reason, this 49ers team scares me a little bit. I don't know if they scare you a little bit.
Bro, they scare me shitless. They scare me shitless because you can't game plan for any of this shit. You don't know who's going to be the running back when. You don't know who's going to do what. All you know is Jimmy Garoppolo's not that good. Yep. That's all you know.
That is true.
Yeah, and the Rams have not beat the 49ers this year.
Yeah.
0-2 against the 49ers. So, what are they going to do differently to come out on top? They're going to have to stop Deebo Samuel, who can do everything. He can run the ball.
He is a little injured, though. He did get hit on the side of his leg.
At the end of the game, yeah.
Yeah, so they might have to limit him a little bit, but we don't know. They won't give us that information because it's their biggest weapon, right?
Yeah.
They're going to downplay the hell out of that.
I mean, game plan as if he's healthy. Yeah.
This is playoffs. I can't imagine Deebo Samuel taking a backseat when it matters against the Los Angeles Rams.
Sure.
Some things to note is Cam Hayward has only one sack against the 49ers in the last 3 games. So he's not stepping up like he needs to. Mm-hmm. However, they are allowing pressure from like Von Miller. Mm-hmm. I mentioned Cam Hayward.
Aaron Donald, you mean?
Aaron Donald. Did I say Cam Hayward?
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Now Steelers fan right
there?
there?
Wow. I just went super on the yellow and black instead of, Aaron Donald does not have a sack, or has only 1 sack in the last 3 games. But Von Miller and company, there's this guy. He's got an interesting name. I can't. Oh yeah, Ogbonia Okoronkwa. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a defensive line.
Okay.
Putting pressure on the on the defensive line side. So yeah, guys like that have been stepping up. They have 48 pressures in the last 2 games. So that's what they need to do. Pressure Jimmy Garoppolo, force him to have turnovers. There's a lot of matchups there to look at. OBJ versus Emmanuel Mosley. I'm interested to see if OBJ can come up on top because Cooper Kupp is going to be double teamed, is my assumption. I mean, he's got over 100 yards in the last 2 games, so they've got to stop Cooper Kupp. I can see an opportunity for OBJ to play really well this week. But this is a toss up for me. Either I think 49ers can come up on top, but Rams are a good team, so Stafford's been doing pretty well. So
yeah, I think you can go back 2 months when people started saying we need to double Cooper Kupp. Has it worked? No, it's never worked. Right? They're still going to feed Cooper Kupp. He's probably going to see 12 to 13 targets, and he's going to get over 100 yards, and he might get 2 touchdowns. Right? Like that seems like the safest thing I have said all week. So basically, the main thing is that he's going to get the volume. Right? So that being said, if they're feeding Cooper Kupp, doing what they normally do, they're probably going to score over 24 points. They're going to play their usual Rams football. I don't see the Rams changing anything. I don't see them deviating away from what's working because they've won, 7 of their last 8 games now. But there is an Achilles heel, and that's the 49ers, unfortunately, for the Rams. Yeah. If there's one team they did not want to see in this very moment right here, it's the 49ers, and here they are. And you
Packers
mentioned
said the same thing last week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Kyle Shanahan's the GOAT, man. Kyle Shanahan's freaking amazing. So I did want to mention you mentioned that they had they lost both their games this season, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they go a lot farther back than just this season. They haven't beaten them in about 6 or 7 games in a row, going back a couple of years. Trying to find that stat. It's here somewhere, but yeah, it extends much farther than just this season. And then to make things worse. Better to actually help them out a little bit, help the Rams out in this really shitty situation they've kind of just found themselves in where they can't find ways to beat the 49ers for many, many, many years. Entering this NFC Championship game, The 49ers have a total of 2 touchdowns in 20 offensive possessions. You think that's going to cut it to beat the Rams? Absolutely not. It worked out in certain situations. The weather probably played a role in Green Bay, unfortunately, to Aaron Rodgers' demise. However, no weather concerns, no concerns at all in any form for the Rams as far as, the outside of football stuff, as far as that goes. And you're playing against a team that has been your Achilles heel. However, as of late, in the last 20 possessions, in the most important part of their season, in the most important 20 possessions of their season, they've mustered out only 2 touchdowns. And after we praised Cooper Kupp and we talked about OBJ is going to have a good game and their defense is still very much there, all it takes is probably 2 touchdowns to beat the 49ers looking at this stat. So what are the 49ers going to do?
Yeah, I think it's going to be another defensive type of game, because if you think about the last game with the Rams, they tried to run the ball often with Cam Akers, and they weren't able to do that, right? Cam Akers was shut down to 45 yards.
It was Tampa Bay though. They've been notorious to just destroy people to not let run on them.
But the 49ers they've got linebacker Fred Warner who can you can definitely put some key pressure on the running game when they're trying to give it to Cam Akers. So, I don't know. I think that the 49ers defense has a strong opportunity to stop the Rams to score points, and really what you got to do is stop Cooper Kupp is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and funny you mentioned that, right? So you don't even have to stop Cooper Kupp to beat the Rams. Let Cooper Kupp be Cooper Kupp. Yeah. So the 49ers are 2-0 against the Rams this year. Cooper Kupp, that last game, in the one that they lost in overtime, final game of the year, 7 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. That's not stopping Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, the first time they played, where they lost 31-10, the Rams only put up 10 points. Cooper Kupp still had 13 catches, 122 yards. So, you're not stopping Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
You're just saying Cooper Kupp can do whatever the fuck he wants. Nobody else can do anything. And I think that's my I guess that's what I'm going to kind of boil things down to is at the end of the day, we know Kyle Shanahan's a guru. We know Sean McVay's also a guru as well. But when push comes to shove, the person that's going to have the most pressure in this game to me again is going to be Matthew Stafford. And he has not fared well against the 49ers this year. Clearly, they've had his number. The first game, only 10 points. Second game, 24 points, but they still lost. Stafford still didn't have a great game. So is Stafford going to be able to get over that hurdle? Because this it's tough when you're in the situation in the NFL where it's quarterback dominant, right? Because at the end of the day, it always kind of falls back on the quarterback. And the thing with the Rams is they've had success prior to Stafford. They made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. So they know Sean McVay's already a good quarterback. The only person that could hold them back from reattaining that success is going to be Matthew Stafford. So he can't be the reason they lose the football game, but that's the biggest variable to me is the 49ers, again, they're predicated on doing things that other people don't. Literally, Mike McDaniel's press conference was, hey, what do you guys like about all these different things we do? He's like, do you see other teams doing it? No, that's why we do it. Weird.
Savage.
Right? So just do things that other people don't. And that, to me, means they're going to game plan for Matthew Stafford, right? They're going to game plan in a way that Matthew Stafford is not going to be able to just stop, drop back for 7 seconds, Cooper Kupp's running free and getting him the ball. And so that, to me, is the biggest key in the 49ers winning is I think they're going to have success running the football still. I don't think that's going to be stopped. So Jimmy Garoppolo's window for making errors is going to be shrinking because I think they'll have success running the ball and then setting up for play action. Because we talked about outside of the Rams, big cogs, their defense is still, you can still throw the ball against them. You can still run the ball. You can still move the ball against them, right?
Yeah, middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Very middle of the pack.
But Von Miller's been stepping up. You always have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, big names. So I think the 49ers are going to have success running the football. I think the play action is going to work. I think what's going to need to happen is Matthew Stafford is going to have to put pressure on the 49ers by being able to either score early, big plays, touchdowns, something that they weren't expecting out of him, first play action, 40-yard bomb, right? Showing that there's holes in that defense that Stafford can get, that's going to change how the rest of that game goes. But if they just fall into the hands of the 49ers for the first quarter and a half, then they've been sucked and lured in, and I don't think they're going to get out of that.
So I'm looking at this like a long-term situation just from a viewer standpoint, right? If the 49ers find a way to win this game, they're going to get murdered in the Super Bowl. Absolutely destroyed. The Rams have a better chance than the 49ers to keep up with the Chiefs. So I'm looking at it from that perspective, right? You mentioned Matthew Stafford. Jimmy Garoppolo is just as suspect, if not more suspect than.
Right.
But he just doesn't have to do as much because their run game is so strong. However, if the Rams do stop the run game, this game's over.
I don't see them doing that.
Okay, but I'm just
saying. The
saying.
49ers are the best running team in the league, right? They've already played 2 times and they haven't been able to stop the run. I just, they have the talent. I just think the scheme for the 49ers trumps the talent that any run defenses usually have. Maybe outside the Buccaneers, but I don't know. But I just think the Rams' holes have been there so much and so often that I don't, they're not just going to come into this game and, completely shut down the best running team in the NFL.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if the game becomes that, if any team ends up scoring 30 points, I think it's going to be very difficult to side on the 49ers winning this game.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just trying to find, reasons why this could go wrong. Matthew Stafford, obviously Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo, and what happens if these guys can't do what they do, right? If Matthew Stafford doesn't get going, big problem. If Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get going, they still have the run game. So, we're going to see how this plays out. Historically, clearly, Kyle Shanahan has something Sean McVay doesn't. Maybe that's why he was the tight ends coach. I don't know. But, it's going to be interesting because whoever wins this game, if the 49ers win this game, it's going to be a really, really sad Super Bowl. If the Rams win this game, it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Damn. If the 49ers win, you think it's over?
Yeah, it's over. It's over. Yeah, I'm calling it right now. 49ers make it, just go home.
I'm just interested to see what they'll do.
Dude, it's Kyle Shanahan. I'm never ruling out Kyle Shanahan in anything. Yeah, you said earlier, the 2 greatest minds, Kyle Shanahan, maybe outside of Andy Reid, right?
Outside of Andy Reid. Who was he facing?
But
Andy Reid.
I think Andy Reid gets a ton of credit now because of Patrick Mahomes. Yes, with Donovan McNabb, they were constantly in the NFC Championship game, but they also constantly lost because in key situations and stretches, they did not execute well. Yeah. They didn't win a single Super Bowl there. Donovan McNabb didn't win a single Super Bowl.
Right. Again, you like to point, fingers at certain positions, for taking the fall. Like a quarterback takes the fall for you in many situations, right? I don't look at things like that. So, taking a team to a certain position to win is just as good as winning in certain positions because it's out of, I'm looking at it from a very different perspective. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, winning is the goal here. But setting your team up for success, it already puts you in a different echelon when you do that consistently. So I'm not saying that Andy Reid was very successful in the Eagles, but what I'm saying is there's a reason he is respected widely throughout the league, and nobody will bat an eye in this conversation. If you ask actual NFL players or coaches, they'll be like, "Yeah, I mean." You're talking to a guy that loves Kyle Shanahan more than probably many people you'll meet, right? So I get that. I'm just saying, with everything we talked about the Chiefs in the other game and how offensively firepowered they are, and there's a lot more weaknesses in the San Francisco 49ers side, but they also find ways to win like crazy. I just think at the rate that the Chiefs are going, I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo can do anything at that point.
Let's make sure the Chiefs even get there first. I know. We've seen the wildest season of the fucking year of ever, so I'm not counting anything out. Obviously, if we're just stack ranking them, the Chiefs are the best team in the playoffs. That's why they're the best odds to win the Super Bowl. That's as clear as day. But what I'm saying is, for us being so gung-ho about not counting anybody out till the fat lady sings, till the final buzzer sounded, before the Super Bowl has even happened, we're basically assuming that if the 49ers make it, they have literally no shot.
Well, that's why this is a podcast, right? That's why people post stuff on the internet. That's why there's news. This is a conversation. I'm not going to sell my house on this topic because that's stupid. But it is a valid, from everything I've said today, I'd be lying if I said, I've said so many good things about the Chiefs. I've said so many good things about the Bengals. I've said so many good things about the Rams. But the things I've said about the 49ers don't instill fear on the opponents. They find ways to win. They're like the Titans, but better, right? As far as things go. It's just that if that were to happen, if they had to go up against the Chiefs, I'm finding it very hard to entertain the fact that they win that game. That's it. That's all. It's all skepticism, right? We're making points. We're calling shit. You're making bets out there. That's all guessing too. We're just making stuff up.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely would love to see a 49ers, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan. That would be unreal because you're going from a young offensive mastermind to an older seasoned offensive mastermind. And then obviously talent-wise, the Chiefs out trump the 49ers in almost every position, right? So, yeah, it would really be a David versus Goliath matchup. You're not wrong. I just think the 49ers, I don't know how, and that's been the phenomenon is how are they here?
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo sucks. They don't belong here, but they're here. and they're here and they're one win away from a fucking Super Bowl. So,
Right.
however they're doing that, however Jimmy Garoppolo is winning 75% of his starts there with being a shitty quarterback. I don't know how the hell they're doing that either. But something they're doing with the lack of talent that we see kind of jumping out to us is different. And that's why when it's different, it's hard to count out completely.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Rams because historically it's just I don't know how the Rams are going to figure this out.
3.5 points to me is too much. I'd take the 49ers plus 3.5 here.
So who do you guys think are going to win this game?
I'm going to say 49ers.
Damn. So now all of a sudden we're all on the 49ers.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. It's the same topic. Like I've always thought the 49ers are going to beat the Rams. I just think if they make it a Super Bowl, it's a little tough.
Yeah. I don't know who's going to win the game. I just think 3.5 points is unfair to the 49ers when, again, the 49ers are not a team that typically gets blown the fuck out because they run the football and they play defense. So and the Rams have Matthew Stafford who could throw 3 interceptions in like 3 possessions straight.
So if you had to pick who's going to win the game?
I would put money on the 49ers. I don't know who's going to win.
But if you had to pick one team to win the game.
49ers.
Okay.
Yeah, 49ers. That's fine. I'm just thinking when I think about winning, like picking and then winning here means less to me than the fact that the team that's almost equally valued is 3.5 point dogs.
Yeah.
So if I take a money line, I'm like 2-1 odds almost there. That's unreal. The talent gap in these two teams, specifically the fact that they played twice and the dogs won both times, does not indicate that the Rams should be 3.5 point favorites. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but this is like a gun to head situation. It's just a picking situation, right? So.
Gun to my head. Give me the 49ers.
Yeah. I'll take the 49ers
But
as well.
I am very skeptical in this decision. It's not as easy as the other decisions.
But that's why it's gun to your head.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
You don't have time to be uneasy.
I'm not sure.
The gun
Bills
is
and
at your
Chiefs-
head. The gun is at your head. There's no thought process. That's why.
49ers.
Yeah, that's why it's gun to your head. There's no time to think.
I'm going to pick Debo Samuel and that running game.
Until the Rams can prove they can beat the 49ers, I'm going to ride the 49ers.
I also think it's great for football. I think that if the 49ers were
It's huge.
able
I would
to,
fucking love
if
that.
Garoppolo and that running game is able to beat the Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs, like it's going to take out everything, all these
it
conversations
changes
that we had
everything.
about quarterbacks and all of that stuff. Like, what's the formula now? You know,
back to the run game.
What defense wins championships? Like running game wins championships. What is it?
Like
Kyle Shanahan
3 out of
wins
every
championships.
10 years, like 70%. I don't know what the stat is. I feel like I've done this research recently, but like 7 out of 10 Super Bowl winners are always like their quarterback is either a rookie scale contract or they're a future Hall of Famer, right? But we can think of all of those defensive teams that have won because like every 4 or 5 years that seems to happen. That's not uncommon either,
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning, dad, no arm.
Chicago Bears
Chicago Bears
against the Colts.
Yeah, literally the Legion of Doom or Boom.
Yeah, that's
Legion
true.
of Boom.
They did have
so-
Russell Wilson that time.
They
though.
did have Russell Wilson. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, obviously.
every once in a while, you're, like the Ravens of the early 2000s, there's always going to be that. But I just
Wait, they
think,
did have Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
a good offense will always beat
Yeah.
a bad offense, right? The perfect throw will always beat the perfect defense.
100%.
So it's like just use that. Like if we agree on that, then just look at what that extrapolates into. That means you need to put up points, you need to throw the ball, you need to do all these things, and then Kyle Shanahan's out here just playing chess, and everybody else literally
that's literally
playing
the best
chess.
analogy possible.
Yeah.
That's scary. That's fucking
It is.
terrifying.
That's why literally when this segment started, I was like, I'm scared shitless.
Yeah. You don't know. The 49ers could literally come out and Jimmy Garoppolo is not even playing like the first 5 snaps.
Yeah.
Would that surprise you? No, because they
No.
could do anything.
Yeah. I'm scared shitless. Unless it's Patrick Mahomes on the other side, I'm scared shitless.
Yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, I mean, shit, that's going to be an insane game. I cannot wait this weekend. Luckily, both games are on Sunday. Like you said, the Saturday, Sunday stuff, give us some time to like do other things, take care of other things. While
Yeah. Like check our bets.
Yeah.
For example,
Yeah.
the bets for this game.
Yeah.
OBJ is at 51.5. And I have that as over. I'm going to say OBJ gets more than 51.5.
So you're seeing a lot of double team cup and opening of the OBJs.
Exactly. It's going to be OBJ versus Mosley, and I think that OBJ, mano y mano, can take on Mosley and get some separation.
I'm seeing a lot of dump-offs. I'm seeing a lot of running. I'm seeing a lot of early pressure for Stafford, inaccurate throws early. You're just like,
my
oh, God,
God.
is this... That's exactly how I'm seeing this game go. So I worry that the volume won't even... Like, I worry that this is an 8-target game for OBJ, but only 3 catches. It's just... They're trying to get him the ball there, Jim, but Stafford's just kind of all over the place. That's what I'm expecting this game to look
What
like.
if both the quarterbacks play how they really play? Then this game turns really, really boring.
Yeah, then it's just a bunch of interceptions.
Yeah.
Then it's just a lot of short fields for the other quarterback, only to throw an interception right back to the other quarterback.
Oh, God, please don't let that happen. At least one of these quarterbacks, please prove me wrong.
Yeah.
At least one of these guys.
I think it'll be a good football game. I think no matter how it shakes out, the last week did not let us down. I know the week before that it was a lot of blowouts, but let's hope that's not a trend, and let's hope it's just blowout early week, and now it's just going to be close, good games, because these two games on paper are exciting as F. So that's it. Those are the two previews this week. Let's jump into the game. Another episode and segment of Random Playoff Player. I'm going to give you guys hints on a player. There's about 6 or 7 hints. You each get 2 guesses, 2 wrong guesses, right? 2 wrong guesses and you're out. Again, it is a player that has played in these current playoffs, whether they're still in or not in. Who the fuck knows? Only I know. Actually.
Oh man, is this on a scale of like 1 to 10? How hard is this going to be?
Not hard.
Like 6?
Nah, it's. I mean,
4.7.
Yeah, I would say maybe about a 6.
Okay, that's fine.
It's like a sit. No, it starts out at like maybe an 8 based on the clues, then it slowly goes down to like a 2.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Random playoff player. Here we go. This playoff player was born in Brentwood, Tennessee on November 14th, 1996.
November 14th? Got it. No, I'm kidding.
Could you imagine?
96. Got
96.
it.
Good. I'm glad you caught the most important part of that. So
it's
you know
Tyler Boyd.
Age range. Wrong. First guess gone.
Damn.
This random playoff player played quarterback in high school and received offers from Air Force, Austin Peay, and Cornell to play QB.
Cooper Kupp.
Wrong. All right, so you both have one guess wrong. Good guess. Good guess both ways. This random playoff player was another college walk-on, but he walked on as a fullback.
Why are these questions getting harder?
He walked on as a fullback.
What the? Oh my God! I can't use my last guess.
Unless you know for sure. This random playoff player at his pro day ran a 4.57 40.
4.57 fullback? That was almost a quarterback?
This random player was teammates in college where he walked on with A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf.
A.J. Brown. And
A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf?
He was friends with
Which
them.
means at Ole Miss. No,
Yeah.
teammates, not
Teammates.
friends.
Yeah.
Sorry. Friends, teammates. Yeah.
Friends.
they're the same age. They're the same.
Yeah.
They're 96. So he's probably like 24, 25.
There's 2 more hints, and they're going to get easy. So
Okay.
you both already have one guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He walked on as a fullback.
I shouldn't have guessed so early. Next time we play this, I'm going to guess way later.
Yeah. So teammates with A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
This random playoff player broke his current franchise's record for most...
Bingo.
Most what?
Continue.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so you're not guessing? You're not guessing yet?
Yeah, no.
Most receiving touchdowns by a tight end in one season, this past season. Broke his current franchise's record for most receiving touchdowns by a tight end.
Dawson Knox.
Yes, that is correct.
Right.
Dawson Knox is correct. We didn't have
Nice.
to go to the last hint. Drafted in the 3rd round by the Bills.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, good
Nice.
shit, man.
was
Dawson
good.
Knox,
I was
walk on fullback.
Whenever you said broke his teams, I was going to say Evan McPherson.
That crazy, right?
Yeah.
Walk on as a fullback, was a quarterback in high school, could have gone to some of these schools, but all these schools, or most of these schools that he got recruited to play quarterback, all run the read option. So
he did throw a pass this year.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and he broke his hand.
Idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, teammates.
Are you
with
just
A.J.
just googling like weird NFL stories?
No, just randomly using the internet. The perks of the internet make it fun.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah,
Nice.
Dawson Knox. Last week we had Hunter Renfrow, which you'd guessed. This week we got Dawson Knox, which you guessed. So we are tied 1-1 after 2 weeks of random playoff player.
Nice. This is fun.
Yeah, must be. Yeah. Anything else, you guys? Anything else for this weekend?
That's all I've got.
Yeah, no.
Go check us out, guys. We've uploaded a bunch of shit on Instagram at The Only Playbook, YouTube channel at The Only Playbook. Check out Brady Breeze's interview. It's a lot of really cool information. He talks about a lot of really relevant NFL players to this day, guys he idolized back when we were growing up, guys he watches today.
Yeah.
It's all just really, really cool, relevant NFL content. So if you enjoy anything NFL related, what better than to get into the mind of a current NFL player?
Yeah. And also, if you know any former NFL players, current college players in the NFL or any other major sport for that matter, send us a DM.
Yeah. if they want just a platform to shoot the shit with a bunch of dudes that love doing this, let us know. DM us. We're more than happy to make something like that happen. Again, amazing week and a half. Brady Breeze interview. Adrian Peterson followed us, liked our post, and commented on our post, made our entire fucking lives, as you and I have idolized Adrian Peterson, been a huge fan of his for his entire career. So big things on the horizon in 2022 for the Only Playbook, hopefully. And yeah, if you guys enjoy our content, obviously, again, interacting with our social media is going to help spread the word. So please do so. And please always let us know. We're always open to feedback. If there's anything you guys want to see, any random segments. I've had some people shoot me DMs saying, hey, this might be a good segment idea, blah, blah, blah. I love all of that. So keep that coming, and we'll try our best to incorporate what we can. But again, I'm Sweetcart, Shovit, the usual suspects. We're the Only Playbook, guys. We will see you next time.